Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Office Hours. Today, what I'll do is two things. We'll do a live demo of a really cool new AI feature from Replit where apparently you can create a mobile app without coding. And if you've been with me and attending these office hours, we tried that around this late summertime, early fall, and the software we were using was different software, and it was very clunky, and it was going to take a long time, so I stopped it. But today, there's like a new tool that just came out like 3 or 4 days ago, or something like that, and I just really wanted to jump on it together with everyone here, especially if you've been doing this with me, because it's with Replit AI, and I've been using Replit. It's a really reputable AI tool for building software. I've been building websites with it already for like 6+ months. I'm relatively happy with it. It's very good for building simple things. For more complex programming, something like Claude performs better. So usually when it gets to complex business logic, I mix it up with Claude, which I'm going to hopefully demonstrate on this call. So that's one thing I'm going to try to do completely live on this call. And then the other thing I'm going to do completely live, well, completely live is I don't have another option. I'm live, but is student Q&A. So if you're joining from Udemy, if you got an alert from udemy.com about this office hours, this is mostly what I run these office hours mostly for Udemy students, so that if you have any questions, anything you're working through, any challenges, we can have a conversation. And in this forum, I can answer things in a much more elaborate way than I can on Udemy, because on Udemy, I can write a couple of sentences in the messages, but it's not the same. Here, I can share a screen, I can explain things in detail. So if anybody wants to introduce themselves and tell me, like where you're coming from, if you're coming from Udemy or just YouTube, please do that in the chat, because if you don't use the chat, I don't know who you are. Because for privacy reasons, YouTube doesn't show me or tell me who everyone is unless you comment, and I'll see your comments, and then we can interact. So that's this call. Pretty much just going to do two things. We're going to explore how to use Replit for building mobile apps, which is their super cool new feature. And then we're going to, if any questions come up or anything like that, I'm just going to do my best to address it. So I'll share my screen now, and we'll go to Replit, and I'll show you how to use it. Hey, I got a Ray Utopia. It's hard to pronounce. Ray from Ontario, Canada, mortgage professional, and enrolled in Udemy course. Hey, thank you for enrolling. Which course did you enroll in, Ray? And I was in Toronto this fall. Is that Ontario? I have my Canada a little bit, not my Canadian geography not so well. I know Calgary is Alberta, but the SEO course, yeah, that's a popular one. So if you have any questions on SEO, feel welcome to comment, and I'll check. My plan was, while I was sharing screen, my plan was to kind of check back every 3 or 4 minutes in the comments, just to see if any comments came up. Cool. Yeah, I was in Toronto, and I walked around the Blue Jay Stadium. It was exciting back then because it was pre-World Series when I was there. And then I went to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. So yeah, I was in your area. So yeah, so I was gonna just demonstrate how to use Replit by sharing screen, and I'll be checking in the chat. And when we're done with that, we can just chat more freely. And this call is going to go for maybe an hour and a half. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll run into some errors, and I'll say errors, but hopefully I won't. So in any case, let me share my screen, and I'll show you everything. I have my Replit set up, so I'll just walk you through everything. So share screen in a second. Hopefully you can see the screen. Let me just check if it's all working. Yep, you can see it. So this is my Claude. This is my Replit. So Replit, they call everything apps. Like in their website, this is replit.com. It's basically an AI tool for coding. It's best for front-end development. It does do on its own backend development, but when it gets to complicated business logic, it's a little bit not as good as the more sophisticated ones like Claude or something like that. So if we ever need more sophisticated things, we're going to go to Claude. That's why I have that window open. And if Claude ever gets confused, we're going to go to ChatGPT. So we have like a bunch of AIs checking each other. So we have to do zero thinking. But in this case, usually when they say here in the dashboard, like um, create app, traditionally they've meant um, like a website in their lingo. But just a couple of days ago, they actually started enabling people to create actual mobile apps. Um, so I wanted to check it out here to see. See here, they say agent now builds right away. So they have like an agent you can build. We're not doing that now. And here they have this thing, build and publish mobile apps in the App Store. I think by this, they mean only Apple App Store. I don't think they publish to Android. But anyway, if you haven't, let's see how they do it, because in some cases we can easily take whatever they built for Apple and migrate it to Android, but we might not need that because, well, we haven't built anything for iOS, so it's too early for that. Um, so they're saying describe your mobile app and let agent build it and publish it directly to the App Store, all from Replit, right? Pretty cool, actually, because the App Store publishing process used to be a long and tedious and boring one that also was fraught with a bunch of errors. But here it's not so bad. So let's try it now. Basically, this whole window comes up. This was just kind of a message. Um, I don't know how to tell it to distinguish between like a website app, like application, and a mobile app, but maybe in the prompt we're going to make it very clear. So create a mobile. This is sort of like creating a prompt like you would create a prompt in ChatGPT or Claude, except here, what you want to describe what you're doing. Like if you're building a website, you really want to give more detail about, examples of sites or fonts or color schemes. You can always edit whatever it makes. So you don't really have to have an elaborate, complicated, accurate prompt, but it does help because you'll have fewer iterations. So for iOS, and the app that I tried to build um, about 3 or 4 or 5 months ago, in like late summer, early fall, was an app that checks cryptocurrency tokens and checks like which ones are the top rising. So I want to just ask it to build something like that. But for building that app, you need libraries, right? It needs to access like, hey, connect to some API and get the data about the top growing cryptocurrencies in the last 5 days. So that would be like kind of step two, um, maybe just create a mobile app, something really simple, um, only with two screens, right? Create a mobile app for iOS with only two screens, just for simplicity's sake. The first screen, the first screen will be a welcome screen with one button. This is a test. We're going to add functionality, but I just want to see what it builds. And that button will link to another screen. And so I guess this is the second screen. The second screen. The second screen will describe what the app does. So very simple app, no need to complicate it early. I just want to see how it's going to perform. So build, build. Let's start. So it will take probably a minute or two. just because it's going to build up everything. It's called our application Crypto Explorer, which is cool. You can see on the left side, the reason I like Replit, it has competitors like maybe you've heard of Base 44 or Lovable. They're like very, very similar. But in Replit, you'll see a lot more technical details, which are really helpful if you need to debug anything. And you always need to debug everything because as soon as there's any kind of complexity, these tools create a bunch of bugs. And so even though AI creates the basic application, it also creates a bunch of bugs that you have to like debug. So let me check how we're doing here in the chat. All right, just no any questions, any comments, feel welcome to put them in the chat. I do check here, but I don't see any. So I'm gonna switch back to my Replit. It's thinking. The way it usually works is like this is the preview screen. It's gonna show you what it's building. Like right now it's thinking, and here it's telling you like what it's building, right? So I'll build a two-screen meme coin tracker app, da da da, da, so like it understood what we were doing, generating the images for it, etc. So it's just working. And the way it works as an engineer, but like faster. So an engineer might open a certain file, edit a certain file, close that file, open a second file, make some changes to that file, close that file, just like you would have an engineer build an application from scratch. This is pretty much what it's doing. Sometimes it says working, sometimes it says exactly what it's doing. Here, it's not telling me exactly what it's doing, but maybe it's because it's early and it's just gathering everything. So this is maybe a good moment to let it work, and I'll check the screen. Seed Ray says Seed Prod can do apps or just sites. I don't know Seed Prod. What is Seed Prod? Is it seedprod.com? This is for WordPress websites, um, which is something very different. So this website, Replit, does not build a WordPress website. It builds a custom website. So it's just HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all that stuff, but without WordPress. You can have all the features of WordPress, like you can build in a blog, you can do everything, but it's not WordPress based, and it's really hard to combine WordPress with AI traditionally. So I'm curious how this does it. I don't know. It's the first time I'm hearing about it, so it will take me a little while to learn about it. Um, Let me check. So this thing is working. See, my app is getting created. Like, this is the app essentially. It created a little cool graphic. Uh, it has the name. It has like the byline. It's pretty good because it tells um, it's professional copywriting, right? Like it's pretty on point. Super cool branding, which I didn't even ask for. It did it by itself. Of course, you can change it, but you didn't have to. And then track the hottest crypto movers. That's cool. Like I didn't even write that, but that's kind of what the app is about, except it's phrased in a nice and cool way. And then this button for discover is basically exactly what I asked it. Um, it explained what it does. And so what you can do now is like you have this app, right? And you can actually preview it on the phone. So you can test on a mobile device. We don't want to do it yet. It's way too early. But it already looks like it would be an mobile kind of thing here. So what we can do is we can ask either this tool or another AI tool about what it can do. For example, like I kind of like to write my prompt something like this. Like I was like, don't write any code yet, because sometimes it's a little eager. So I like to add that instruction, but just explain, um, can you access any APIs to get data about fastest growing cryptocurrencies in the last 24 hours, 7 days, and 1 month. And while it's doing that, we can kind of read what it wrote here. Sometimes I'll skip what it writes, but it's important to read it just because you kind of have to be on top of what it's doing. So it says, I'll build a two-screen meme coin tracker app based on the design guidelines, and I'll create a bold, striking design with eclectic style. I mean, it's pretty nice. Update the see. Then it says what it does. Update the app.tsx to ensure that whatever the theme, blah blah blah. In the past, you would have to know what this thing is, so you can go and edit it. But now this AI does it for you. Now then, it's published it kind of in a test environment, and it said it was running. Now here it's working. So it says, yes, there are several cryptocurrency APIs that provide data about fastest growing tokens. Let me check what's available. So that's pretty cool. You see, it's pretty much like very nice in one place. And then Ray says, what do you like for building dozens of microsites? I don't do that. So I never really built dozens of microsites. I have a few sites that I kind of build and invest my effort into, like my Spark token. I'll show you SPRK token. And I didn't check it for a while, but yeah. So this is my cryptocurrency token that I made, and this like my Problemio is my website for my actual business. So I have relatively few websites that I own. The Breezy Send. Let's see what happened to Breezy Send. I didn't log in for a while. This is my email marketing. I built it with AI and with Replit actually. It's like it's my email marketing tool that I made. But you see, I don't make microsites really in bunches because I make like more elaborate websites that I kind of invest in. Because even if you have any website, like you have to invest your time into creating content. Even if AI does it, you still have to like post it, grow it, da, 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 da. So I'm not a microsites in volume guy, if that helps. Um, but let's see what this thing did. So it says, yes, I can access several free APIs to get data about fastest growing cryptocurrencies. Best options, Dex Screener, okay, that's a good one. CoinGecko, that's a good one. Coin Market Cap, also a good one. I need the one that's easiest. No API key required, that's good. Trending tokens. I think Dex Screener just like to get on market cap, and I don't know if these check only the ones that are on it, because I think Dex Screener will have more of the smaller ones, because CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, they don't accept just all coins, but I don't know if it checks only coins listed on those places or all. Let's see, but this one has a trending and gainers, losers endpoint, which we could, that would be helpful. This one also, top gainers endpoint, because I guess we don't need the top losers endpoint. Like, why would we need to get that data? Like, oh, let's invest in the top losers. Not really. So let's see, covers in trading tokens, price changes, volume across different networks. So any of them can kind of do. They say recommended CoinGecko would be ideal for your app since it provides the time frames perfect. All right, so let's do that. Let me just quickly check if anyone has questions. All right, so let's use CoinGecko. Would you like me to integrate one of these APIs? Yes. Yes, let's integrate CoinGecko. But it does require an API key. So I have to go there and make an API key. No. Does it? Requires a free API key. And the free tier is 30 calls per minute, which we don't need that many, so it will be free. Let's see, how do you, let me just ask it for instructions. Give me instructions for how to get the coin gecko API key. Sometimes this part is a little tedious. Like you write to it, it writes back. Bzzz. But this tool for creating WordPress websites in 60 seconds, that's a good one because a lot of people still need WordPress for SEO. So I kind of like this idea. I like this one. The thing is that like a lot of website builders have this now because I used to work with 10web. I still do 10web.com. And you see they're also like, but they're basic hosting. They used to be just basic WordPress hosting, but now they're like, okay, we're AI now, right? So everybody's like AI now. But they had features even like a year or two ago that were just like create your WordPress website with recreated with AI or something. So they had already features like that. So I guess everybody in the WordPress world is moving towards that direction. Um, Let me quickly check what Replit did. Okay, so it says go to this thing. Okay. This is the CoinGecko API. Click get your API key now. Okay, okay. Where's the free thing? Not so free. Let's see. Demo free plan. I did it. Create a free account. Let's see. I don't see a demo account. I see only. See what I can do is I can say, hey, like this is maybe Replit has outdated information. So I'm going to ask it if there's another way to get free access, or should we try a different API? Don't feel like paying since it's just a test now. Okay, cool. CoinGecko removed their free tier, so let's use Dex Screener. Okay. Yes, integrate Dex Screener and give me instructions for it. The best thing is that doesn't need API keys, so I don't have to do anything here. Okay, Dex Screener, simple, no setup needed. I'll integrate it now and expand your app to actually show. Perfect. See, it's going to show cryptocurrency data, a new token screen showing top gaining meme coins. Perfect. The about screen will have a get started button. Great. Let's see how it comes out. I'm excited. Ray, what kind of microsites are you building? Is it for client websites or something else? Um, let's see. This thing is still working. What kind of cities? Like, what are the what are the microsites? Like, what are they about? Like, like when you say cities, what do you mean? Like for small businesses or just cities? Like, what do the websites do? Like, is it for tourism or like local business marketing kind of thing? Like, we're one website per city. Oh, I see. You're trying to get like kind of like home buying and selling clients kind of thing, or maybe I'm not totally understanding. Maybe okay. I guess I am kind of understanding. All right, let's see what this team built. So let's see. Still working. Let's see. It's interesting what it's doing. It's kind of having a preview to the preview. I want to see what it's gonna do. It's a little boring to wait for it. Like you think AI is gonna be fast, but it's a little bit like a lot of sitting, waiting, waiting. Come on, AI. Okay. So so on the left side it's doing stuff. So it clicks on the discover, but it wasn't supposed to do that. It was supposed to build the. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see, but it's doing that stuff. Um, the top gainers. Let me see if I can do this here. Oh no. Okay, maybe no. I see what you're trying to do, Ray. I was thinking like for this kind of projects, I mean, you can easily also make a page on your website for each city, like on one website, so you don't have to manage like 30 websites, because it's hard to manage all of them. But let me see what my okay. So it kind of when it finishes working, it kind of gives like a preview. So it like or not a preview, an overview of what it did. So like a welcome screen, beautiful landing page with app branding and discover button. Okay, we have that. That's cool. I mean, usually like we should have things show up on the home screen. We'll change that soon. And then the about screen and tokens screen. That's what we want. So let's go to the token screen. So maybe is it navigate from discover, shit, view top gainers. That's cool. In the last 24 hours. So let's actually, that's interesting. Um, it kind of repeats. So you have Pepe, and then Shiba, Dog, Pepe twice, Pepe three times, Doge a bunch of times. I don't know if it's then different Pepe, then Doge. It's kind of weird. So we can ask it, like, why does, if I take a screenshot, why does Doge repeat so many times? And why is it down if it's supposed to be a gainer? This is where Replit kind of dumb sometimes. Like, why are they showing me Like this is a really bad untested API call, right? The first few look right, like great gainers, but very quickly it's starting to show me. So it's a very limited number of tokens, and out of them, it's showing me like repeat listings. Let's see why it's repeating. Same token exists on different blockchains. Okay. It's showing too few different tokens. So now it will only show top gainers. Okay, fine. No duplicates. Great. But there's only 3 now. So now it's too few. Okay. I'm just basically asking it if it's only like if the query call is wrong, because maybe it's only fetching some kind of a subset. Oh, it was searching by meme coin terms, which is the dumb way to do it. Like you wouldn't do it that way. Oh, I see what you're doing. Right. That's a cool idea, actually. I like this strategy. Um, it's pretty clever. And I think it's pretty easy, right? Because the small towns have very little competition. So yeah, pretty smart. Let me see what this Replit is doing. Smart, unlike Replit, because Replit is like, all right, let's see what it's from 4 to 24 popular meme coins, but it shouldn't. Don't search individually. Query for top risers. I think it was querying for like individual tokens, and because that's really dumb way to do it. Like it kind of was hard coding which one to search for. It does show more now, pretty easily. Like we only been programming this for a little while, and it's already doing the thing that we wanted it to do. But cool. Replit development is like they call it vibe coding, like supposed to be fun, but it's pretty like I'm sleepy now. It's pretty boring. I mean, it's way better than if you had to hire an engineer for this because it's free and it's way faster, but it's also like not so exciting. Okay, let's see what it does. Done. This app now uses a smarter approach. Single API call to get this trainer boosted in training tokens. Okay. Hot and being promoted. Very cool. Batch lookup of their price data group by blockchain. Okay. Filters show only tokens that are actually gaining. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. So we have some really high growing ones. Okay, so this one is up 6,000% in 24 hours. So if we go to Dex Screener and we search for that one, it's usually not a good idea to search by token name because they repeat. But we probably will find the same one because we'll see, like, hey, this one that's like a USR. There's probably one that's like really high now, or you can get it close to the price, right? So it's 0.009 cents. So if we go 0.00 I don't see that, but this one is kind of close. No, that's actually far. This is 0.99, so we need 0.009. If you don't see one apparently ready, then the accurate way to do this is by getting the what do you call it? The token address. So if we click on one, well, actually, it opens the Dex screener website. So what we have to look at is, okay, let me try to make it, let me see if it's visible. Yeah, it's visible. So we'll make it like this, full screen kind of. Okay, and then these below are transaction. People are buying, 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 a little bit of selling. Then you see that it just launched. This one just launched with a very high price and it's experiencing some buying. So it's fun to find these. The app is not the only way to find these because you can easily find this in many ways. It's very risky to invest in these because the initial increase rarely runs for a long time. As you can see here, it spiked in the very beginning, went up a little bit, and then you see it's trending water here, very little movement. So this one is already a little dead. The run up is here, and what a lot of people do is they try to get in early, like the first minute, so that they can ride this wave and sell it. But the reality is they really rarely time it so well, and there's crazy risks because if the owner decides to like de-liquid this token and take out all the liquidity, they can take all the profits that were created by investors, because every time somebody else buys, this token price goes up. And so if the original creator of this token wants to sell high, it will mess up, it will screw over the investors. So if you're investing somewhere here, the original creator can be like, hey, I'm just going to take profits now, see you later. And it will crater, if they sell, it will crater the price, it will never come back, everybody else will lose money, and the creator will make a little bit of money. It's not a good way to go. But this commonly does happen, so we have to be very cautious about investing in new tokens that had just started, because usually when they start there's a spike naturally because bots purchase, and also like there's manipulative purchases manipulating the price. So we can't get caught up in this unless we know the creators of the token, which is extremely rare. And so you see it does have like a very natural nice trading, but it only lasted for 4 hours, and then almost as like clockwork, see there's a big transaction here and then boom, almost nothing. So this is going to probably be flat and mostly dead. But that's a lesson learned, right? Usually it's not even this bad, usually it's like worse, because usually it's like a little bit higher, 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 and then the cratering down where like the original person took all the profits. So while it's interesting to spot fast rising tokens, there's like a middle ground or a sweet spot where it's not, you have to find ones that are trustworthy enough, that won't do this, and also ones that continue to grow, because a lot of times initial buyers dry up. So it's a challenge in investing in these kinds of tokens. Of course, it's fun to invest in these kind of tokens, but it's a very risky thing. But that's the token. For us, the exciting thing was that we built a mobile app. And now all I have to do is just like get the use, and it actually did a good job. Like it really got a tiny, tiny micro cap token. If I click it, we will look at the, you can see liquidity is $325,000. So it's a really small micro cap thing. Um, as you can see, it already went down in price. We saw it at 0.009, I think. Now it's 0.008. So I wonder why it cratered, but anyway. That's the token. So I think what I'll do is, obviously I won't launch this to the App Store, but what I want to do is have a screen like, hey, this is sponsored by um, Spark Token. I'm going to ask it, what would be an ideal way to express that this app was sponsored and created by the SPRK token of SPRK token.com. And by the way, if you're like, a lot of times people watch this after the call, because I randomly send out an email whenever I can, but people don't really know when the office hours is coming up. So if you're watching this after the call, I also feel welcome to post questions. But this was pretty successful because somewhere when I tried to build an app with a clunkier tool, it didn't work at all. Here, it actually working exactly as explained and better. It's pretty efficient. Like, this thing understood what I wanted, created a nice design. I mean, you can say the design is not amazing, but it's better than what I would make, and it was free, and it was within a minute. Here's a few elegant approaches to showing SPRK partnership footer credit on screens. Okay. Yes. Welcome about screen mention. Okay. That's a cool one, right? So let's create something like that. Let's see what it, welcome about screen mention. I think welcome screen, the about screen is okay, but the welcome screen may be a little too early. Don't want to turn people off. Sponsor section, splash loading. Like, I don't want it to be sponsored because people, that's exactly what the thing people ignore. Splash loading accents show bot to you. I want to show a interstitial or some kind of an ad that appears after certain usage. And I don't know, but I think for now, let's try option one. Like, let's try option one. This one, footer credit on screens. Let's see how that would look like. Let's see what it will build. It's going to build stuff for about maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. So let me check YouTube. Anything else going on? There's a few people on the chat. Anything, anybody wants to say hi, chat about anything? Because while I'm waiting, I'm all by myself here talking into space. So if you want to chat about anything, um, this would be a good time. Does anybody have any questions about what they're working on Udemy or anything else? Uh, Ray, are your microsites, are they going well, or do you have any questions about them? It seems like you have a really good, you're on top of the situation. Like, your strategy is good, you know what you're doing. Are you just starting to do this, or have you already made them? I think the tool you showed me is probably ideal because it has the um, WordPress. Also, Replit can do this for you similarly fast, but so can a bunch of other websites, like you saw with the 10 web that I showed. It can also do the same thing for WordPress. So, but Replit is not WordPress. Replit will just build custom websites. But Replit will also be your hosting. So, um, let's see. Cool. I'm glad to see that you like the SEO course. Oh, and launching soon. Yeah, I think I'm curious what would happen because the strategy seems good, and ranking in small towns seems good. Let's see what happened here. Okay, it's done. So it added a subtle powered by SPRK. I don't see it at the bottom of the tokens screen. So let's see. Tokens. I do not see that footer. Where would it be? Maybe if I made it. How do I make it smaller? But I don't actually see that promotion. has a small external link icon, opens to sparktoken.com. Okay, but shows at the end of the token list. Maybe it's hidden because no, I don't see it. Ah, you have to scroll all the way down. But all the way down, nobody will ever see that. So it's very subtle and tasteful, but perhaps too tasteful because then nobody will see it. And powered by is a little not ideal because they might think it's a website builder tool, like powered by, like built with. So the powered by wording is not great. Maybe instead it should say, like you can just instruct it instead of say instead of powered by, make it say uh, featured token. So that way it will be more promoted, and maybe it would be cooler to put it on top. So I'll do this thing. It's working. When it's done, I'm going to ask it to make it on top. Now it's actually not a bad. I'll probably put this screen as the first screen people see so that they immediately get value because making 3 clicks is too much work and it's bad usability. But this might be a good initial app to put out there because at least it does what I was hoping, which is promote my token. Very cool. Very, very cool. I really like overall, I'm really pleased with how fast I was able to prototype my app and build something. Basically, if you had to hire an engineer, it would take you maybe $1,000 to build this and days or weeks of hiring. Um, and if you were an engineer yourself, you would have to learn programming and it would take you months to learn how to do this, because you need to learn programming and stuff. And you also need a designer to help you. So it saves an incredible amount of time. It's like a modern miracle, really. So it's super, super cool. Um, I have comment Zen Moon. By the way, YouTube doesn't show me a screen name. So sometimes it shows the name, sometimes no. In this case, I just see Zen Mooney. So if you want me to know your name, let me know because that's the only thing I see is Zen Mooney. It says, hey, your course is great. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. Which course are you taking? And by the way, is this any helpful to follow along with this mobile app thing for how to create a mobile app? For me, it's interesting because I was planning to actually create a mobile app, like a legitimate one, and launch it and create a course about it, which actually seems like it would be pretty simple to create and pretty simple for people to follow. So I might just do this. Oh, the SEO content writing. Maybe it's the blogging course. Yeah. By the way, Ray, speaking of ideas, you can create a real estate related app because it's not so much going to help you with app features necessarily, but what it gives you is discoverability from the App Store. When you have a presence in the App Store, you suddenly have discoverability and it's like a lead generation from the app world. Now, it's not so easy because you have to promote the app, get it to rank higher in the app stores, deal with all that minutia. So it's not, like click your fingers and it works, but it's not that simple. You usually like building something simple is simple, but as soon as you have start to have anything with any kind of complexity, you start having bugs, and then you also start having to deal with like how do you get promotion in the app store. So you have, and it starts to take your focus away from your actual business, right? If it takes too much time, it begins to take your focus from your actual business. So none of these decisions are supposed to be taken that lightly, um, because it may become a distraction. But since what I've explored, with us on the call today, like it's in it's a very significant step up in what used to be possible before in terms of productivity. Like like it really saved a tremendous amount of time. So maybe it's possible, but then again, there's like all these next steps of like, how do you get the app to rank? That the best business here is to make apps for others now, because if you can make an app for others in a 20 minutes or 30 minutes or one day, if it's a complicated app, and then charge a few $1,000s for it, hey, then you have a nice business. um thank you for the comments, Zen Mooney. I still don't know the name, but I'm gonna call Zen. But thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's really nice because sometimes, or actually almost all the time, I work by myself, and I film all the stuff by myself, and I do everything by myself, and it's a little bit of a lonely experience, and I never know how people react to it once they take it. But it's nice to hear that you got all this from the course, so that's really nice. Thank you for saying that. By the way, I have something very exciting. I'll show you. I don't know how it will come out, but let me show you. So I have for Udemy, I have a plaque that I got. I have over 1 million students. I recently got it. I don't really want to hang it on the wall because it's kind of weird. I don't want to hang it on the wall because if, let's say, I film some content and then it doesn't go on Udemy, it goes somewhere else, then actually this will be detrimental. Like some websites don't like the brand Udemy mentioned, and they ban the brand. Like if I put it on Skillshare, they will ban anything with mention of Udemy. So I kind of have to figure out how to take it on and off. But yeah, that's a cool thing. So yeah, but both of you, thank you for helping me get there, because you were part of this journey, that now I have this plaque that I don't didn't even hang up. I was really excited to get this plaque, but then after I got it, I was like, I don't know if I'm excited about it anymore. It's almost, yeah, it's uh, kind of strange. But let's see what the app did. So the app said, done. The footer says featured, let's say featured token. But now let's put this on top. Let's put the featured in on top, and also look up price and um, the price and uh, token movement, and display it for SPRK. Let's see if it does that. Coming back to the chat. Thank you for the all that, Zen. Uh, yeah, I know. In India, the teachers are like really respected. I know. I'm trying to bring that to the culture here. Cool. Let's see if the app finished. So it's still working, but I kind of like it. Like like the MVP, minimum viable product, from Eric Ries, that theory or the methodology. As a minimal viable product, this is almost close enough to release. Um, it doesn't have a lot of great features, but it has a little bit of a interesting feature set. Um, And the good thing about releasing early is that it can begin the journey of ranking higher and higher in the App Store early, so that by the time you get this app or any kind of app you build ready enough, it will have at least jumped over some of the competitors a little bit, because it does take a little bit of time. But that is super cool. Love this thing. I thought the experience was going to be far worse, where it's going to like make it buggy, then make it buggy in a different way. Um, but it isn't. Let's see what it did. Oh, look at that. Look how beautiful this is. Featured Spark. I don't know what is this thing, Spark Dex. Maybe, I don't know. What is Spark Dex? What you can also do is just take screenshots, and then ask it, like, what is Spark Dex? Don't write any code, but explain what is Spark Dex, which is a caption, which is a caption on the screen. And why is the chain flare? And why is the chain says flare? The chain is not flare. Let me check. And why is chain listed as flare? This. I don't know what that is. And the liquidity doesn't seem completely right. I think, oh, it's the wrong token. Ha ha ha. It looked up the wrong token, which is fine. That's easy to fix. But okay, so that's all very fixable, because you should never look up, like SPRK, for example. You should never look up the tokens by, unless it's like Bitcoin, by the ticker symbol, because the ticker symbol is not unique. People think it's unique, like a stock ticker symbol, but it isn't. So what we have to do is search for SPRK, SPRK, and I have two pairs of SPRK that trades with Solana. This is my token, and SPRK that trades with USDC. This is my token. So, for example, USDC is a stable coin, and Solana is just a basic cryptocurrency. So people can buy it in two ways: through the stablecoin and through SPRK and through Solana. So if I click on Solana, this is the one, right? So what I have to do is provide my um, mint, I think it's the mint address, well, the main address for this token to, and it's a public address, it's fine. I don't have, that's not a secret one. So I have to provide the right address, because I didn't provide the right address. I didn't guess which SPRK token, and it guessed incorrectly. So that's a little bit of a challenge there, but it's a very easy solution. Cool. Does anybody else have want to discuss? So I can keep on doing this token and all that, but I don't know if it's that interesting, because I think the demo is sort of complete. Um, and this is gonna stay live. I'm gonna leave this live. If anybody wants to rewatch this, um, it's fine. It's gonna be replayable. But I think it's more about the takeaway, because the steps to do this were very, very simple. But do you guys have any questions about anything you're working on that I can maybe help with? Because I can stay for a little bit more time. Usually, like, I've been trying to keep the office hours for an hour, unless anybody has any kind of burning issues, then I can stay. But I have another call in about 30 minutes, but I can stay for a while if anybody has questions or wants to talk about anything. Because the main goal of these office hours is usually to like provide some kind of answers. It was a lot better when I used to do this on Zoom. On Zoom, when people could actually talk instead of typing, it was way more engaging, and I might come back to that. But for now, it's on YouTube Live is kind of just okay. Like, YouTube Live somehow doesn't encourage people to interact as much in the comments. But on a Zoom call, it was more interaction. I wonder how to get the. I think this is the one. So this is the address. So what I would say maybe is look up the SPRK. So I see your question about the different niches. So content writing is a little tricky because some people are still doing content writing, but so much of this is being outsourced to freelancers. Not sorry, not freelancers, to AI. Let me stop sharing my screen just so I can kind of answer. So yeah, a lot of it is getting outsourced to AI. So if you're doing content writing, you might as well also do it through AI, which means you have to get AI, you have to edit it. You can't just let AI totally write it and not proofread it. So um, it does leave. There used to be a lot of content copywriters, like in 2022, a huge field of like there's just a lot of people providing the service. Now, most of these people are not necessary. So there's a lot of people looking for jobs in this field. So it's competitive with people sort of out of work who used to work with maybe regular companies or as freelancers. But so now there's a lot less work going around in this field. Um, so it's a real challenge in the content creation field. It's a real challenge to get into it, especially for somebody new in it, right? Now, if you use AI to create content, this is what everybody's doing. People still need to hire people to manage this for them. It's like I don't want to create the proofread the AI and etc. So uh, there's still some work in this field that has to be there, but it's certainly not a growing field, and it's a field with a lot of challenges. So um, it's not one that I would think is like, oh, get into this now. If you're in this field for a while and you're very invested in this field, I would be thinking about, well, how can I use AI to help my current clients? And I already have like my lead generation for this field, and I already have a way to get clients for this field. I don't want to start from scratch. Maybe I can still get some clients, maybe not as profitably, but like still some, right? So you're not totally at zero. But if you're starting out and you're deciding what should I do, you're always going to have to create content, but it's kind of like not the main thing you'll be hired for. I think for many cases, in many cases, maybe you'll be hired to just as the AI manager, creating content, but not just written, but like the video as well, and maybe handling more things around the website, etc. So stuff like this, I think maybe a little broader. Still, you can still stay within the like freelancing niche of helping people, but you'd have to offer like more services probably, because just content writing feels like a little bit too little, since nobody's doing the writing. I mean, not nobody, but very few people are doing the writing these days. So then if you're managing AI, the hours are fewer, right? You have less things to do. So that's kind of the challenge with this field now, because AI is impacting many fields, but this is one of the highest, or this is the field with the greatest, or how should I phrase it, the field most impacted by AI. There's almost no other field more impacted by AI than content writing. So I think you either have to navigate how to use AI, or maybe look at like a different field where human involvement is more necessary still. Um, so let's see what this happen. It's still working. Just Okay, so it's stopped. I stopped sharing screen, but what I was doing is looking at the app that got built. But the app that got built had some bugs. But I'm not sharing screen now. So anyway, um, I can share screen. Let me share screen very quickly so that I'm not talking randomly. But does that help to answer? Zen, I know it's not the most hopeful answer, but I think it's better that it's realistic, so you don't spend your time in the field um, that maybe is okay. So this is my token. See, now it updated. Everything's accurate, right? The blockchain is Solana. That's right. The volume, I have some volume, trading volume, but it's not very big. This is the price. It's a down, but it doesn't say over what amount of time. It should, let me ask it. Is there a way to show for what amount of time is the price change shown? I think I didn't um, phrase that well, but hopefully it understands what I meant. And yeah, like if you're doing programming with AI, like there's a ton of little tweaks because it will make something, but not perfect. You have to tell it, change it, it will change it, but again, still more better, but not perfect. So it's like a little by little by little. But it's super cool. I think what I might do is do a longer, well, actually, I might just create this in a course in a much more organized way instead of jumping screens. So I might release a brief course about how to create a mobile app for this. That would be super cool. Very, very cool. All right, cool. Um, but yeah, I'm probably gonna do another office hours relatively soon. I try to do one a month, but I'm kind of excited about building this app. So maybe I'll flush out this app a little bit, build it up a little bit more, and then after I build it up a little bit more, I'll have a much more kind of professional looking thing um, that's actually useful. Um, and maybe I'll show that on the next office hours. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining. And if you're joining after the live session will be left for watching, forever on my YouTube. And feel welcome to post questions or comments. I still see the comments, so I'll be able to answer. So cool. Yeah. Thank you for staying on the whole time, Ray and Zen. I appreciate it. And thank you for all the kind words. Of course, if you have questions, you can also send me questions through Udemy. I see them. So I'm not far. And I'll help if I can. So yeah, thanks for joining and have a great rest of your day. And hopefully see you soon in the next office hours. Bye.